And now to judicial matters, where the recommendation for the compulsory retirements of 2 judges by the National Judicial Council, NJC, over allegations of age falsification has sparked debate among senior lawyers in Nigeria. On November 15th, the NJC, chaired by the Chief of Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere-Ekun, announced retirement of the Chief Judge of the Imo State High Court, Justice Chukwuemeka Chikeka, and the Grand Kadi of Yobe State, Kadi Babagana Mahdi, over discrepancies in their dates of birth. Justice Mahdi reportedly had 3 conflicting birth dates: December 10th, January 28th, and July 1959, with his actual birth year confirmed as 1952. Now, while some Nigerians have called for prosecution of the judges as a deterrent, several senior advocates of Nigeria have expressed opposing views. They argue prosecuting the judges might be excessive, suggesting disciplinary action taken by the NJC is sufficient. And for context, we're joined by Executive Director, Sterling Center for Law, in person of DG Ajari. Good evening. Glad to have you join me on the news. Okay, could you help us try to unmute your device?
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Thanks.
All right. What do you think are the legal frameworks that govern the prosecution of judges, when it comes to matters like this, falsifying their age? And how do these laws balance independence of judiciary as well as accountability?
Well, the decision to, compulsorily or impose compulsory retirement on the indicted judge is commendable. That's some major leap from what was obtainable in the past. Quite a lot of times, allegations against judicial officers just get, pushed under the table. But it is a commendable step. But it is not enough. It is not enough. And in cases involving criminal misconduct, prosecution is not only appropriate, but it is necessary, not as an act of vengeance against the judicial officers, but to uphold the principles of justice and to deter future misconduct. And very importantly, to restore public confidence in the judiciary, something that is currently missing amongst the Nigerian public. And you will agree with me that if the members of the public do not have confidence in the judiciary, then we already have a problem. And the likelihood is that people are going to start resorting to self-help in seeking for justice.
Now, when it comes to ethical guidelines, what should be followed in cases where judges are accused of falsifying their age?
The code of conduct for public officers and judicial officers emphasizes honesty and transparency. So this, of course, necessarily means that judicial officers are expected to be above board. And expectedly there will be some cases of erring judicial officers going against this established ethical conduct. But the appropriate thing to do is to take steps to punish in order to deter future occurrences. And so for me, I think it's both the code of conduct for public officers, for judicial officers, is clear that they are expected to live above board. And if you now have those judicial officers who are supposed to sit and preside over cases of persons who are accused of age falsification, being involved in such age falsification allegations, then such persons should be prosecuted. And this is not to say that one is already passing judgment. One is just saying they should be given their days in court. If the courts find them guilty, the appropriate sanctions should be meted out.
Do you know of any precedents, or history whereby such landmark rulings where judges have been prosecuted before for falsifying personal information occurs, and how were such cases handled?
I do not know specifically of any case in which a judicial officer has been tried for personal data falsification. But I also do not think that there is any need specifically for such precedents. In fact, if there has been none, this is an opportunity for us to create one. This is an opportunity for us to show, not just to Nigerians, but to the whole world, that because we understand that judicial officers symbolize the integrity of the justice system, anyone found of such misconduct will not only be, given such minor punishments as compulsory retirement, but will be appropriately punished through the judicial process. And I mean, this is just basically global standard. That, I mean, anybody, irrespective of offices that they occupy, whether in the judiciary, the legislature, or even the executive, such persons should be open to judicial inquiry.
Well, Mr. Ajare, if you can hear me, do you feel this in any way will impact the trust the public have in the judiciary?
I didn't get your question.
Okay, I was asking if you think in any measure or way this can impact trust people have in the judiciary.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You see, like I have said, prosecution for misconduct is not just punitive, but it serves as a reaffirmation of the judiciary's commitment to ethical standards. This will set a precedent, like you have said. It will show that the NJC has taken a firm stance on the issue, and quite expectedly, it will deter others in not just in the judiciary, but in other sensitive public offices from engaging in dishonest practices, and that the judiciary is leading by example. Now, if the judiciary is leading by example, then any other person who is engaged in such practices will know that if they are brought before a court of law, certainly they will be sanctioned. And so I am very, very, very positive that this will, in at least no small measure, restore some level of confidence in the judiciary amongst the Nigerian public.
Well, indeed, we do hope that will happen to Nigeria's judiciary. Thank you so much for your insight on the news. Deji Ajare, Executive Director, Sterling Center. Many thanks indeed for your insight.
Thank you so much for listening.